Hello, folks, and welcome back to Appalachian Intelligence. We hope you guys enjoyed the last episode with our producer, Lance. Ryan, that was probably my favorite episode so far that we've done.
Yeah. It was really close to home is what it was. It was familiar. But yeah, Lance, as always, producer Lance, he did a great job. Come at us with some craziness over here and some craziness over there and kind of tied it all together. We all had stories,
Yeah. It was something that, we all knew about, but had never really looked into the history. And for those of you listening right now that haven't checked out last week's episode on Granny Witches, Appalachian folk magic, make sure you check that one out because it's a really, really entertaining episode. Before we head into this week's topic and this week's episode, we're going to do something that we've been doing the last few weeks. We're going to read a 5-star review. You guys keep sending those in. This one is the name. I don't know about it. The name is I Hate AI. I hope we're not talking about the show here. Hope we're not talking about the show, because if so, it's a little counterproductive because the actual review is love this podcast. Great job, guys. A lot of different, interesting topics. Love it. So maybe they're just talking about regular AI, like actual artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I think they're one of those. I think they're one of those people that sit at the lunch table and talk about how Elon Musk is one of the greatest people alive, but also he could destroy us with
AI. You're talking about me.
Yeah,
you're literally talking about me. I didn't leave this. I didn't leave this review.
Did you in fact write that review, Justin?
No, that wasn't me. Well, I Hate AI. We appreciate the 5-star review. We appreciate it a whole lot, guys. Anybody that jumps on here and leaves a review, we thank you so much for that. I mean, that helps people find the show. If you haven't shared the show yet, please do so. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your coworkers, share it with whoever you want to share it with that you think would like this content. That's the only way that this show grows, is by you guys sharing it word of mouth. Before we jump in, you can follow Appalachian Intelligence on all of our social media platforms. Those will all be in the show notes. You can support the show. The support the show link is also in the show notes. So if you feel led to donate a little bit of cash to this podcast to keep us rolling and to keep content pouring out, if you feel led to do that, please do so. But yeah, just if you like what you're hearing, show the love and share the love. Let us know it. Send us an email, leave us a review, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody, shout it from a mountaintop.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
We talking to everybody. But no, Ryan, we've been in pretty deep conversation and topics the last few weeks, man.
I've tried every which way possible to tell as many jokes as I can per episode, because we gotta, we still want to be on the lighter, fun side of things.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is what we have planned for tonight. Tonight is we're just going to call it silliness. This is going to be silly.
Well, not all silliness. It's not all silliness. So there's some silliness in here, but we can't say all.
With just some silliness, a dash of craziness, and just a splash of diabetes from the whole bag of peanut butter M&Ms later.
Yes. You should be ready to go then. Have a nice sugar rush going.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Today, we're talking some lesser known, maybe completely unknown to most of the audience out there, Appalachian cryptids. Everybody knows Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Dogman, the Mothman, everybody knows these big names. And the way I like to look at it, that's the varsity team cryptids. That's the first string cryptids that are out there, are all these, Bigfoot, Dogman, Mothman. Everybody's heard of them. There's all kinds of documentaries on them. There's movies, major productions made on them. Everybody knows those. What we want to talk about tonight, and we are going to do episodes on all these others. We're still going to talk about our man Bigfoot. We're going to do, we've got some accounts. We've actually got some Mothman accounts that we're still scheduling for guests to come on here and talk about. We've got some Dogman episodes coming up that I'm really, really, really excited for. So, but we'll get to those when we get to them. Today, to lighten it up a little bit, to just have some fun, we're going to talk about some junior varsity cryptids, some second string cryptids, some that are lesser known.
They may be the backups to the third string.
So we're talking fourth string cryptids.
But I did find in real close tie with my homie Bigfoot. The one you already know which one I'm talking about. We're going to talk about them, but they're my new favorite, man. That's just.
Which one are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
The WW?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We'll open up with that one.
Let's open up with that one. I love it.
All right. You got anything you want to share before we dive on in? Before we dive all the way in?
I don't know. I'm not ready to talk about Scout Camp, but.
Did I cover everything? Did I miss anything?
No, I thought, let's see. You ready for 5-star review?
Oh, subscribe to our YouTube, Appalachian Intelligence. Subscribe to our YouTube.
For our YouTube watchers, I muted myself earlier because I just saw one of the biggest spiders I've ever seen in my life. It was trying, it came at me, then it decided no. So I had to go get it.
That was
it went under the desk.
That was an Appalachian cryptid.
Yes.
That was the Greenbrier jumping monkey spider.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. You don't want to be bitten by anything on Greenbrier. That's true.
Yeah. The last time you bit me, I had a rash for 2 months. All right. So
from the bite.
so you mentioned the WW, and what we're talking about is something called a whirling whimpus. Okay. The whirling whimpus. So the whirling whimpus is a Sasquatch type creature that was said to be responsible for the many disappearances of lumberjacks in the North American woods. The whirling whimpus is said to be a bloodthirsty 7-foot tall gorilla-like animal that easily fools any animal or person possible. When it senses prey coming down a pathway, it hides, usually at the bend of the trail. Then, as the victim comes nearer, the whirling whimpus begins to spin around on one foot or hoof quickly, which renders it practically invisible. As it does this, the wind emits a low droning sound that seems to be coming from the trees above. As the prey looks up, trying to locate the sound, the whimpus attacks and kills the poor creature mercilessly, making it into molasses or maple syrup. And that's how this thing, look. It attacks its prey, it whirls and whirls and whirls and beats you to death with percussion, and with its swirling monster hands, beats you into syrup and then slurps you right up. So slurps that blood syrup right up.
No, it's maple syrup.
I mean, I'm thinking people don't necessarily turn into maple syrup, so it's got to be something. I'm thinking like a molasses or maple syrup adjacent.
No, that is the magic of the whirling whimpus. It is maple syrup. This creature, good heavens, terrifying.
That's where maple syrup comes from.
Listen, guys, if I ever go on a camping, hunting, hiking trip, and I go up missing, just assume or put it on my headstone, taken by the whirling whimpus.
Taken by the whimpus. The whirling whimpus. Okay, so just imagine for a second, man, because look.
Yes, he was delicious.
These things, these things don't come out of nowhere. Like they're on here because somebody at some point has said, well, you know, these lumberjacks, like that's what it's talking about for the many disappearances of lumberjacks in the North American woods. So like, I'm thinking, you know, these early these lumberjacks are going out into the woods and, you know, some of their guys are going missing. You know, hey, Johnny, the new guy, he hasn't showed up for work for the last week. I guess the Wimpas took him. You know, I mean, it's got to be something along those lines. So here's my thing. All right. Now, I am a believer in a whole lot of cryptids. I cannot bring myself to believe in a Tasmanian devil like 8-man Bigfoot that's spinning around so fast that it's causing the trees above it to rumble and shake for the prey of this thing to look up and think, oh gosh, something's coming from above to get me. And then all of a sudden, bam, you're maple syrup. That's it. You're done.
You die mercilessly first.
Yeah. You're maple syrup.
Turned into maple syrup. There are worse ways to go.
You know? So that's what I'm, you know, they're at some point, these lumberjacks. So here's my thoughts on it. Okay. Because I always like to dive a little deeper into things. What were these lumberjacks? What were they responsible for? What were they? Okay. If people are looking for missing people and this is the best story that they could come up with, that makes me think
they murdered them.
That makes me think one of two things. They got extremely mind altered in whatever version. Like, they must have been a bad batch of shine coming into the woods or something during that time, that these guys done something, these other ones, and then when they start getting questioned about it, the most non-intelligent one of the bunch came up with this story as fast as he could. Or it's so crazy that it might have to be true. It might have to be.
It's not true. It's not true.
I mean, who makes up something like this? Yeah. I mean,
it's
a 7-foot tall Sasquatch type creature spinning around so fast that it causes a wind vortex, like a cyclone, and then boom, beat you to death.
You know,
maple syrup.
I think these lumberjacks mistook a funnel ghost.
Oh snap!
Whirling wind.
What if, dude? What if? Because we got an episode coming up too, or a few actually, that we're going to be looking at the correlation between Sasquatch and UFOs and the paranormal, you know, poltergeist activity all going on at the same time. And if there is, a relationship there, you know, that correlation, because some people do report that. So what if these lumberjacks, dude, hear me out. What if these lumberjacks actually saw this was all funnel ghosts, but they were in relation with Bigfoot, and somehow this funnel ghost and Bigfoot came together, like in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when they all came together to make this big super ultra ranger and take on the bad guy. What if they came together with a UFO over top shaking the trees like crazy, right? Yeah. And then some kind of percussion, sonar, ultrasound, extraterrestrial weapon is what hits these people and turns them into molasses, maple syrup. Huh?
I'm not sure.
I mean,
that's a lot of shit going on all at one time.
It is.
That's a lot of stuff. That's
it is a lot of stuff, man, but there are reports out there.
You know what though? I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about this guy who worked for the government. I don't know where or what he did, but he said that he witnessed extraterrestrial, and he told a guy. Now this is back in late 70s, early 80s, something like that.
Yeah.
And he told somebody later on, before he passed on. He said, "I'm not kidding you. One of the extraterrestrials I seen looked like Chewbacca."
Huh. So
that kind of all ties into Bigfoot being extraterrestrial or whatever,
Dude, there's all kinds of reports out there with people seeing UFOs and Sasquatch like right around the same time or right around the same, even the same event. Will like see a UFO and then within seconds or minutes, they have a Sasquatch encounter. There's quite a few reports out there of that kind of thing.
So I was kind of thinking on that point. I let myself go down that rabbit hole into y'all's crazy side.
Good.
And I was like, okay, Bigfoot's an alien. If any person you've ever known or in history has ever gone into another land or invaded another territory, it's why? It's resources.
Yeah.
So, suppose aliens, Bigfoot is an alien. It's hard to say that without laughing. But suppose Bigfoot is an alien. One of the reasons they would come to this planet is in search of resources.
Right.
And what if their plant, say, like their food sources, they had something similar to deer or rabbits or anything like that, but their resources have dwindled. So they're doing like a conservation program back on home planet. Meanwhile, coming down here, camping out a few days, which would explain makeshift little things, them, second of all, being that intelligent and living in the freaking woods.
Yeah.
And what was the other one I was going to wrap into? The infrequency of Bigfoot activity in one area.
Yeah. Honestly, you could tie that in there. There's so many theories. There's so many theories out there. And I don't think that you can discount really anything because nobody knows really. You look at the missing people side of it. We've talked about Sasquatch and some of these people in missing 411. But look, dude, there is some crazy, let's say kind of supernatural Bigfoot accounts. There just is. People say that, they're there 1 second and they don't take their eyes off of them. And then the next second, boom, they're gone. Or, I heard an episode on a podcast the other day that this guy and his buddy observed one, showed up just a few seconds later and in search of this thing and trying to find it after it kind of turned and walked off. They hit this, what felt like a wall of static electricity, of just this electrical charge in the air, and couldn't find the Bigfoot. You like I said, you have some of these accounts where you have, people see a footprint or follow a set of footprints, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're just gone. They're gone with nothing else around. So when you look at these kinds of things and the whole mind speak thing, we were talking the other day, and I know that we've talked before, and you weren't a very big believer or fan of the whole mind speak, telepathy kind of thing. But there are animals out there that operate kind of with that mind speak kind of ability. They can communicate with each other in that kind of way. And Les Stroud, Survivor Man, Les Stroud, he talks about it quite a bit because he had what he believes to be a mind speak kind of encounter. So, the cloaking that you hear about, there's animals out there that can cloak themselves, that can camouflage themselves into different environments. You look at the chameleon, there's some aquamarine animals that can do this. You look at a lot of the things that we will say, well, that's got to be supernatural. And some of it, would have to be this thing just disappearing. But what if it is just going full camo? Or what if this thing can jump, 40, 50 feet? That's why we don't see footprints. What if all the things that we see and think to be supernatural are really just biological? I think, what was the animal? There was a certain animal that I was trying to think of, and I just went totally brain dead when I was talking about the whole telepathy, mind speak thing. It may even be like dolphins or something, like a form of dolphin that can, I don't remember. Don't quote me on that one. I'll have to do more research on that one. But anyway, getting into that whole thing, I know I've been rambling here for a minute, but getting into that whole thing, dude, there's so many theories that are out there with Bigfoot. Even the craziest sounding ones could be a possibility because nobody knows. Nobody knows. I mean, these things might pull out a pocket watch and push a button on it, and a portal opens in front of them. They just step right on through, and as they go through, they put their 3-piece suit back on and sit down their boardroom meeting, talking about, well, guys, this is what's going on Earth today. It's a field report. I mean, we have no idea. We have no idea.
I want to hope they talk like Rick from Rick and Morty.
But we are going to find one. We're going to find one for sure.
I think our homie, our good friend Maverick Matthews, the Pepper for Your Steak podcast, is onto something. After that book he sent me today, dude, I binged that book, and I hadn't listened to it a second time at the end of the day because I was just like, man, it's craziness. But you know what? I'm starting to think, what if there's other possibilities there from that too?
Well, good.
They go crazy because this is going to turn into a Bigfoot episode. I thought we again.
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah. We start talking about our homeboy.
It's hard to stay away from Bigfoot for too long.
Yeah, he's in our backyard. So.
It's hard to stay away, or the wood booger as it's called here.
Yeah.
We have
technically, if you just want to step right into that.
Well, yeah, we actually could. We keep segueing here. We keep segueing right into it.
Accidentally, folks.
So the wood booger, since we're on the topic of Sasquatch, the big guy, the wood booger is a type of Bigfoot or hairy humanoid originating from Southwest Virginia. Whoop, whoop. Home, that's baby.
Us.
The wood booger is a Bigfoot-like creature said to roam the forests of Southwest Virginia. The name wood booger was given to the creature because it was often rumored to carry off young children like the boogeyman. I always remember growing up, my mom all saying, keep it up, and the booger man's going to get you. The booger's going to get you. The booger
man.
The whole time I was growing up, dude. This cryptid was featured in the Animal Planet TV show Finding Bigfoot, episode Virginia is for Bigfoot Lovers. There have been a particularly large amount of sightings outside the town of Saltville, Virginia. Since this visit, the city of Norton, Virginia has many attractions named after the wood booger. This city has also been named as a sanctuary for the wood booger. Since 2014, an annual wood booger festival is held where visitors can go on guided tours to search for the creature. A statue of the wood booger is located at the Flag Rock Overlook. The Wood Booger Bar and Grill is named after the creature, and many local businesses sell merchandise of the wood booger. In September, a geocaching event named the Wood Booger Geo Trail is held in the Flag Rock Recreation Area. So that's our Sasquatch. That's our version of Bigfoot. And
that's the guy that lives around here.
Yeah, and you saw it right there. Finding Bigfoot came in, did an episode on the place. There was actually, I remember a video from that episode and from seeing on YouTube, kind of like a creek crossing video of this thing crossing the creek around the Saltville area. And it was nuts, dude. It was wild. Y'all check that out.
Hungry Mother's Park is in Saltville, right? That
it's Marion, which is kind of
right there.
Yeah, it's close. It's not far. Which all this stuff that we Yeah. It is. So yeah, that's our version, the wood booger. And you literally do have an entire town, city of Norton that city. They have wood book. Ryan, that is a city. It's on the sign, bro.
Yeah, it has a university.
Well, wise.
Oh yeah, Norton doesn't even have the college. It's not a city. They've got a big old Walmart and a Harbor Freight.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm not gonna know Harbor Freight. I love Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin, real quick before we continue.
Yes.
Can you see without your glasses? You need them to read that stuff.
Oh yeah. Shoot. Sorry. The glare killing you.
Just now noticed it, and after I noticed it, I could not notice it.
Oh yeah. My bad. Yeah, that glare is crazy. I'm gonna have to get some of those the blue light, no glare, all that good stuff glasses. But anyway, the wood booger around here, it's kind of a big deal. There is a restaurant in the city of Norton. It's about 45 minutes away from us, and they have wonderful food, by the way, like absolutely wonderful food. They do have the statue at Flag Rock. They have a wood booger festival and a day, all this different stuff. And whenever we go investigate, that's where we're going to. We're going to the Flag Rock, High Knob area and going to camp out and try to call this thing in, try to find it, try to get something for you guys to see, even, I don't know what we're going to get, but we're going to get something. We'll have something for you.
We're going to find him.
Yeah, we're going to find him.
Name him Tobias.
So biased. Let's jump into the next one. And I really, 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 I like this one. I like this one. I like this one a lot because, I'm a history buff. I mean, you're a history buff too. We're both kind of history buffs. But this one it's got some cool history tied to it. Okay. And I don't even know if what I'm getting ready to read has all the history in it, but if not, I'll fill it in and let you know about it. So this next one that we're talking about is the Snallygaster. Okay. And the Snallygaster, see, I threw you for a loop. You didn't even know.
No, I thought you were going a different way.
Yeah, you thought I was, but I wasn't. Tricked you. The Snallygaster is a mythical. It's a mythical dragon-like beast said to inhabit the hills surrounding Washington and Frederick counties, Maryland. That area was settled by German immigrants beginning in the 1730s. Early accounts describe the community being terrorized by a monster called a Schnellergeist, meaning quick spirit in German. The earliest incarnations mixed the half-bird features of a siren with the nightmarish features of demons and ghouls. The Snallygaster was described as half reptile, half bird, with a metallic beak lined with razor-sharp teeth, occasionally with octopus-like tentacles. So try to put all those details in your brain. That's a scary-looking thing, okay? Half reptile, half bird, with a metallic beak, with razor-sharp teeth, and octopus-like tentacles. All right, that's a lot. It swoops silently from the sky to pick up and carry off its victims. The earliest stories claim that this monster sucked the blood of its victims. 7-pointed stars, which reputedly kept the snallygaster at bay, can still be seen painted on local barns. It has been suggested the legend was resurrected in the 19th century to frighten the freed slaves. Newspaper accounts throughout February and March 1909 describe encounters between local residents and a beast with enormous wings, a long pointed bill, claws like steel hooks, and an eye in the center of its forehead. It was described as making screeches like a locomotive whistle. A great deal of now get this, you're gonna love this. A great deal of publicity surrounded this string of appearances, with the Smithsonian Institution offering a reward for the hide. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt reportedly considered postponing an African safari to personally hunt this beast. Okay, so.
But he was a badass. Like,
well, yeah.
If it existed, he would have got it.
So Theodore Roosevelt, as sitting president, he was a sitting president at 51 years old when all these accounts started coming out about this dragon-like creature, this snallygaster, who was snatching people. Okay. He decides, while he's a sitting president, he decides, you know what the best thing I could do as president of this country? I could go kill me a snallygaster.
I'm gonna go whip this snallygaster's ass. That's what I'm gonna do.
Forget this impending war in Europe and Germany. You know, I was planning to go to Kaiser Wilhelm II to try to smooth things over and let him realize war is not the answer. But I'll tell you what's
on your own, Winston.
That's the wrong war.
I know.
But I'll tell you what, the best thing for this country is for me to get the head of this snallygaster. Dude, I just love that. I love that.
Also collect the reward.
Imagine Joe Biden coming on the press conference tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow, and saying, that's it. I'm done. I'm done hearing all these terrible, scary Bigfoot accounts. It's terrorizing people. I'm going to kill Bigfoot. I'm the president. I've got all the resources in the world. I'm going to get him. I mean, just imagine that, dude.
That's crazy. But you know what? Teddy was a crazy fella.
Teddy was,
and
awesome.
his daughter was a badass too.
Yeah. Well, Teddy's. I mean, not many people are standing up giving a speech and take a bullet and finish the speech out. Not only just finish the speech out, but say something along the lines. I'm paraphrasing here, but you think a bullet?
Justin. Well, folks, I do believe Justin is having some technical issues here. Maybe an internet malfunction. I'm not sure. If we had commercials, I'd go to a commercial break, but you know, just buy what you want to, I guess. This is just me feeling airtime while Justin gets his shit straight, gets his life together. Oh man. Well, it's definitely just me now. If you're just listening in, Justin has left the meeting. He's the host of the meeting, so not sure how I'm still here, but I am. I'm just assuming Justin's going to edit all this out, so you guys probably won't hear this craziness. Oh man. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we got something going here. Justin Kaiser is the host now. He was always the host. I don't understand. I'm still recording. I don't know what he wants to do here. I see the Justin Kaiser J, folks. If you're on YouTube, you're gonna see this, but well, I guess he's still gonna be a minute, folks. So anyway, the snallygaster was what he was talking about. I know where he's gonna go. Where he's gonna go next. I think. I think. But while he's gone, I'll sneak in a couple. Let's see here. It's from the same list he has. Let me go right here.
Recording in progress.
Hey, he's back.
And I'm back.
Hey, Justin, I kept talking the whole time.
Good. Good. I'm glad. That's really, really good of you.
Yeah, I kept talking the whole time. It was all nonsense.
Well, that's fine. That's what we talk
But
about
I kept
anyway.
talking the whole time.
Well, that's great.
Started to do another cryptid while you were gone because I didn't know if he's coming back.
Hey, way to hold it down. Way to hold it down. I actually have no idea what happened because my phone never showed the Wi-Fi going out. And actually, my computer never actually showed the Wi-Fi going out. But that's what Zoom told me. So, I don't know. But I'm back anyway, regardless. We're back. We're back in it. We're back in it.
We're back, folks.
So just keep going with what you were talking about, and I'll jump in.
Oh, well, I just picked a random one just because I thought it was funny. It's kind of still on topic. Is the sheep squatch.
Oh, yeah, I like that one too.
Also known as the white thing. It is a woolly-haired cryptid reported across numerous counties in West Virginia. Surprise, surprise. Predominantly within the southwestern region of the state. You know, our corner.
Yeah.
The counties with the most sightings are Boone, Canal, I can never say that, Kanawha, Putnam, Mason, with a surge in sightings taking place in Boone County during the 1990s. So as recently as the 1990s. It is described as being a quadruped about the size of a bear with entirely white wool-like fur. It has a long and pointed head, similar to a dog, but with long saber-like teeth and a single pint set of horns, not dissimilar from those found on a young goat. Its forelimbs end in paw-like hands, similar to those of a raccoon, but larger, while its tail is long and hairless, like that of an opossum. Smells like sulfur, which has been attributed through folklore to the beast being born within the TNT area in Mason County, like one of the Mothman theories. So this is not likely, and instead may be a musk scent gland similar to those found in many species in the order of carnivora, such as weasels and skunks.
Well, there you go.
So it just has stink glands.
Yeah, they just stink.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've got dogs, right? Oh, well, imagine, well, I'm sure at some point throughout your life you've had a dog, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you know if you have outside dogs and they're not getting bathed they don't like water and they're running around, after a while, just your dog starts stinking really bad. Now imagine they're out in the wilderness, in the woods, fending for themselves all the time and trying to stay hidden from people. They're probably going to stink.
Yeah.
I would imagine almost anything that lives in the wilderness and doesn't have access to soap is going to stink.
Well, I imagine this thing is completely fictitious.
No, that's the sheep squatch. That's a real thing, bro. That's a real thing.
Yeah,
You can't underestimate the sheep squatch.
I think I
Okay.
can.
Look, you're a monster hunter, okay? What are you going to do when you're out there and you run across one of these things? You just going to tell it, "Hey, I don't believe in you. You got to go away."
Listen, if the crew mountain monsters couldn't catch it, nobody. Y'all just watch that.
I don't know, but
You
that
can
thing
thank
is
me.
that thing is scary looking.
Is that
Check
some
that thing
picture I
out.
got?
I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah.
That
Why
is
did they say it was a quadruped? It's standing on two legs.
it looks bipedal to me. I don't know. That's a crazy picture. It's scary looking. That
Weird.
is a scary looking thing. Oh, crud. What did I do? Okay. Now we're going to talk about one. Were you done with your sheep squatch?
Oh gosh, yeah.
I can't get over the whirling Wimpus, dude. That's my favorite. That is my favorite
I was
all
just thinking
time.
about him.
That's my favorite all-time cryptid, period. The whirling Wimpus. I mean, that's
Jeez, you better
a
now.
spinning Tasmanian devil, maple syrup.
It's not a Tasmanian devil. Those are real.
Oh yeah. Well, no, not like I'm talking like Looney Tunes Tasmanian devil. You know that Tasmanian devil.
How do you spell Looney Tunes?
Well, this is a Mandela effect kind of thing. Okay? Because I remember as a kid it being spelled. How's it spelled now? I don't know. Whichever way it goes, because I remember I was looking the other day and I was like, that's not right. That's not what I remember from when I was a kid.
Loony.
Ney.
I thought it was NEY, but I think it's NY.
What? I'm looking this up. I got to look this up.
Oh,
talking.
just
Keep talking.
just a bravo to this bait pen. It's finally worked.
Cool.
It's not nicotine, just so you know.
I didn't think for one moment that it would be. So,
Grape ape flavor.
okay. So,
Come on with it. Come on with it. I
I
think
don't
it
know.
was
This is saying a lot of stuff. I'm falling into a rabbit hole literally right now. Anyway, I remember when I was a kid. Okay, apparently Warner Brothers or whatever it is. Yeah, I think it's Warner Brothers has said that Looney Tunes has always been spelled Looneytunes. Okay, but I specifically that doesn't even make any sense. That makes zero sense. Why it would be spelled Tunes. I mean, it's not a bunch of songs. It's not a bunch of music. Okay, it's a cartoon. I specifically remember as a kid it being spelled Looneytunes. Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
But apparently not. Apparently
No,
not.
it was
Apparently,
TUNES. The whole time.
but there's a lot of stuff like that. That whole Mandela effect kind of deal.
Well, it used to be TOONS before whatever guy went back in time decided Mandela wasn't going to die.
Something happened. Something happened. Something happened that. Okay, this. All right.
We're
So-
supposed to be having fun on this one.
We are having fun. This is fun.
This is fun for us. It's not.
Oh yeah, it's still fun for everybody. I mean,
You guys are having fun, damn it. Keep listening.
people are listening to all the other episodes, so it don't matter. They're
It's the
they're
same
in it.
thing we do. They know we're
They
doing.
they love it. Here's the thing, dude. Here's what I'm starting to really kind of dive into and have a full belief in. Okay? I'm starting to get this. I'm starting to believe that reality, okay, and I'm not trying to throw out any kind. I'm not talking any specific theory or anything like that, okay. I'm trying to say that I'm starting to believe in a way that whatever Ryan believes, now to a certain extent, I'm talking about like visual perception, okay, not like basic truth, biological truth, my truth that I have in my faith. What are you doing?
My wife just came in. That's my wife, everybody. Well, she's blurry.
That's a shout
Thank you,
out to
honey.
that's a shout out to our one of my favorite podcasts out there, Blurry Creatures. We just had a Blurry Creature sighting on on our podcast.
I'm not going to call my wife Sasquatch. Sorry.
But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, I'm starting to really believe that as far as your visual perception, okay, the things that you can touch, see, smell, feel, all these different things here is pretty much based on what you believe. Does that make sense? Like your perception of reality is your reality.
Yeah.
It kind of goes into the whole, paranormal, cryptid side of all this stuff. Okay? Because I've been listening to some stories recently of people that will go into certain things with this intent. Okay? This intent to see or witness, whatever. And it happens. And sometimes it's really specific intents. Specific intention. And these certain specifics will happen. Almost like these people are manifesting their own reality. And I know that sounds extremely crazy. But I think there's a lot of evidence out there that says that may be the case. Now, like I said, there's certain truths, biological truth. There's certain things there that I don't think can just be, not trying to offend anybody out there, but if you believe that you're a dog, that doesn't make you a dog. You know what I mean? That's not a change of reality that you can control. But I believe if you go into a situation that you're trying to do paranormal research and you go in absolutely shut down, closed-minded, not believing at all, you're not going to experience anything. I firmly believe that. So I know that's a little different than the whole Mandela effect thing, but it just triggered me thinking about that. What's your thoughts on that? Honest
You're saying
thoughts.
I won't say anything because I'm not going into it open-minded enough to expect that I'm, all right, come on out if you're there.
I'm not specifically saying you. I'm just talking about,
Well, that's what
anybody.
I'm saying. I'm using myself as an example.
Right, yeah, but there are people like you are a major skeptic, but you're an open-minded skeptic.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you're totally closed-minded and it's just absolutely no belief in this period at all, I don't think you're going to see anything. I don't think you're going to experience anything. I don't think that you're going to be able to have any of these experiences if you're totally shut off to it. But I also believe that people that seek it, if you seek it enough, whatever it is, you'll find it eventually. It may not be concrete evidence and proof and, you know, captured on video or whatever, but you'll find it.
Well, I've already decided I'm going to shout out to Maverick again. I'm going to let him be my guru. And I'm going to do the same thing he did around his place and see if we can get the same results around here.
Dude, we already, this is dark and bloody ground, my friend. You start doing
It's
some of that
okay.
stuff.
It's okay.
You start doing some of that stuff here. I mean,
It's
it's hard
okay.
telling. It's hard telling what you're going to have going on. But,
Yeah, but
anyway, that
just,
was a little.
you know what? I was going to say, and with being open-minded, the way I like to think about it is, you know, at one point in time, the greatest minds in the world thought the earth was flat. You know, if you go too far, you're gone. You just fall off the other side.
Some of the greatest minds in the world still think that.
And then they need help. They need medicine and therapy.
I'm bringing on Dave Weiss. Dave Weiss,
Possibly,
I'm coming for you.
Possibly a globe, you know. What was it the flat earthers put on
We've got
Twitter the other day?
we've got members all across the globe.
Yeah, we've got members all across the globe.
And that's
Read
a quote.
what the hell you just put.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's what I'm saying. At one point in time, they thought the atom was the smallest thing. Of course, you know, they open that and all this stuff comes out. And, you know, it's okay to keep an open mind and learn all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're never too old to learn anything.
No. Well, I mean, I
Maybe
think
like MMA or some shit like every 70. I don't freaking recommend that.
well, you can still commentate it. You can still sit ringside or octagon side
I
and
mean,
sit there and
trained to do it, you know, that
Yeah, you can commentate all the technicality.
unless Dana White puts in a senior league or something, that'd be awesome. I would watch
No.
that. I would
Some of
watch that. Are you kidding me?
Some of those old dudes can really probably throw down.
I'm telling you.
I mean, there's certain people in the world that if you told me I could step inside the octagon and fight, I'd start training today. Okay? Never too old for certain people. But no, man, I mean that's it's a weird thing. It's a really weird area and avenue when you start talking about reality and perception and, you know, a lot of the things that we've been discussing recently. It's weird, man. It's a really weird, and there's so many differing opinions out there. You know, as far as that, just take this for instance. The human eye, and I was on the phone with Maverick. We might as well we should have just brought Maverick onto this episode. We've talked about him. We've talked about him enough.
It's 18 shout outs already, man.
18 shout outs, Maverick. But I was talking to Maverick on the phone the other night, and we were talking a little bit about this then. You know, the human eye can only take in or can only actually see 1% of the light spectrum that's out there. Okay, meaning that there's 99% of this spectrum that your eyes and brain physically just cannot take in and make it all work. All right.
Well, I think, unless I'm getting this backwards, I think humans see on two spectrum.
Yeah.
Birds on 3.
Yeah.
Fish and what would they be? Crustaceans, crabs, things like that. They can see crazy lights, but Sorry about that. But I
Well,
think yeah,
no.
we see on two spectrums, and that's it.
Well, that's like ultraviolet. You
Yeah.
know, with certain technologies, we can see ultraviolet rays, but we can't see them with the naked eye because that's part of that 99% of the light spectrum out there that we cannot see. You know, we're not wired to see that, but we can see it with technology. So that, you know, what if we are just a technological advancement away from seeing a lot of things that we're sitting here talking about right now as a possibility, but have actually been out there the whole time? We just aren't wired to see it,
Well,
except for these little glitches every now and then.
we kind of do with like FLIR, night vision, infrared, things like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about even the whole paranormal side of it, not just. I mean, I know this is a JV cryptid episode, but even the paranormal side of it. You know, what if we're just some kind of technological advancement away that keeps digging into that light spectrum realm of maybe seeing a lot of stuff we were never intended to see for a reason. I mean, maybe some stuff that may scare us absolutely to death. Like, no, take these goggles off. Take these goggles. I don't want them. I don't want them anymore.
His eyes out.
That's like me when I put Connor's VR goggles on and start playing these games. About 5 minutes in, when I'm about ready to throw up everywhere, I'm like, take these off. I can't take it anymore.
Oh man, I played that VR on PlayStation, and it was these fighter jet things. It was the way it had you is almost like you could feel the freaking G forces behind it. Craziness with that stuff.
Oh yeah,
but,
they're nuts. They're nuts.
It's I don't think we're that far off from what you're talking about.
I don't think we are either. I don't think that we are. I think actually probably the technology is already there.
We already have technology that can see, and
it just hasn't been made public.
Well, it has. Because, I mean, they show these things that I have to start Googling because I cannot think of a damn thing I'm trying to say right now. But anyway, I think it is public. I mean, I'm not going to try to name them off. I will at work. I will. It'll hit me. We won't be recording, but I mean,
yeah, it's fine.
Here,
it's fine. It's fine. You can make your point. Just to me, I trust you'll do that.
And then next episode, we will make sure
we'll
to
talk
tell
about
everybody I made that damn.
There you go. There
you
go.
It, folks.
Okay. Sorry about the dog again, guys. I don't know what his deal has been the last couple of episodes, but he really decides that he's going to start barking as soon as we start recording.
We're conjuring up the. Oh man, you know what I just thought of? Did you see that smoke rising? It's over here.
Ectoplasm.
You've seen a face come out in it.
Yeah, it's ectoplasm. Dude, that would be nuts. If we were just sitting there, then all of a sudden, boom, that'd be crazy. All right, the last one we're getting into, last JV cryptid, and I don't. This is
should have known you were saving him for last.
This is a lesser known cryptid, okay, but I don't put him in a JV second string category at all because, well, all right, I have my own beliefs. I have my own beliefs on it, and if y'all have listened to this show and followed it enough, you already know where I'm going to be going with this. But this last one is the Goat Man, okay? And the Goat Man is a humanoid cryptid most commonly associated with Louisiana, Maryland, and Texas. It is described as a 7-foot-tall hybrid creature, part man and part goat. Some claim it is a relative of the New Orleans evil chupacabra-like cryptid, the Grunch. The urban legends of them often tells of it killing young couples in parked cars or scouring neighborhoods killing family pets. There are also tales of them breaking into people's houses and raping its victims. and many attest from the areas that he haunts, it does not matter if you're a man or a woman, he will overtake you and rape you nonetheless. So really, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your husband.
You're a
Goat man.
mean one, Mr. Grunch.
How
Oh my
long?
God, he ain't got no time for the phone.
How long were you sitting back waiting to do that?
You stopped talking. I was like, oh shit, oh shit. I even got jittery. I was like, please hurry, please hurry. Like I had to pee. I'm gonna nail this joke.
Oh gosh. When scared teenagers whisper about Goat Man, not all agree on the form he takes. Some say he was a man who kept goats and went mad after teenagers killed his flock, driven to seek revenge against any youngster. But perhaps the most titillating version traces the origin of Goat Man to the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center, a sprawling USDA facility anchored by a big brick building appointed with white columns. In this version, a mad scientist is conducting experiments on a goat when something goes horribly wrong, turning him into a half man, half goat beast that is naturally hungry for blood. That's the worst superhero. That's the worst superhero in history. Like this is a superhero. This is a superhero origin story. Okay, this mad
About
scientist.
some dude having sex with a goat. Good
What is
Lord.
this? What is this? The Taliban?
Lord, we apologize.
The Taliban, Superman, Goat Man. Like, could you imagine? The Avengers show up. You've got Iron Man. You've got Thor. You've got Captain America. You got Hawkeye. You've got Hulk. And then who's this guy? Oh, I'm Goat Man. what? What kind of superhero is that? Oh God. Anyway, going on from that. He may not be as famous as his cryptid cousins Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, but Goat Man has a devoted following. The stories began surfacing a, quote, long time ago, that's pretty scientific right there, according to Dr. Barry Pearson, a folklorist at the University of Maryland, which happens to be in Prince George County and is home to a Goat Man archive. Now here, everything that I just read is hogwash, in my opinion. This is where we really start getting it, this last sentence. The earliest sightings date back to 520 BCE as the satyrs of Greek mythology who held an almost identical role despite 3,000 years. That's where we're getting in. The specific one that I want to talk about is one called the Pope Lick Monster. The Pope Lick Monster is a legendary part man, part goat, and part sheep. I don't know how you tell the difference between a goat and a sheep whenever, it has ram's horns sometimes and just pointy horns other times. I don't know. Reported to live beneath a Norfolk Southern Railroad trestle over Floyd's Fork Creek in the Fisherville area of Louisville, Kentucky. In most accounts, the Pope Lick Monster, named after the Pope Lick Creek below the Pope Lick train trestle, appears as a human-goat hybrid with the grotesquely deformed body of a man. It has powerful fur-covered goat legs, an alabaster-skinned face with an aquiline nose and wide-set eyes. Short, sharp horns protrude from the forehead, nestled in long, greasy hair that match the color of the fur on the legs. Okay, so this one's been seen in and around Louisville, Virginia. Here's Louisville, Kentucky. Shoot, sorry, not Virginia. There's a nice little picture of that dude. Looks pretty fit.
Yeah.
But now this is about the 77th episode in a row that we've talked about a horned being that has been observed in the woods, has been witnessed, accounted, And even with that, there's some history behind it, relating it back to the Greek satyrs around 520 BCE. So, we all know my theory on horned deities that are, you know, in charge of some things in the woods, in nature, have a following, and are pretty much the the power principality that I think in my theory now, that I think most of the things that we talk about answer to.
Yeah, he's in charge.
Yeah. And we're talking whatever you want to call him.
Pan,
Pan,
the Green Man.
the Green Man, Cernunnos, the Goat Man. I mean, dude, you look at look at every single culture, every one of them.
No, the satyrs.
Well, even Egyptian mythology, a lot of these deities are horned gods, small g gods. A lot of them are horned. Look at almost every single culture, every religion, polytheistic religion, and you'll find at least one horned small g god. Okay? And the majority of the time, they are a nature, woodland, this kind of all in one with nature and all that's in it deity. Okay? A lot of times they're described as having the same mannerisms, having the same not agenda, how do I put it? Just the same kind of, if you're looking at descriptions of these things, like behavior, personality, mannerisms, a lot of these things, a lot of times they kind of match up. They kind of match up.
Yeah.
No matter where you go throughout history, whether you go ancient Babylon, Sumeria, Egypt, Rome, Greece, Native America, the Nordic culture and belief system in that area. I mean, almost anywhere that you go, all throughout history, there is this same type of horned small g god that people worship.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, it's still going on today. And the even crazier thing is, it's still going on today in our area.
Yeah.
It's nuts, man. It's nuts. It's nuts. And of course, we know in this area, mostly is of the Protestant faith religion. We know that in this area, if you were to tell somebody, I walked into the woods and I seen this horned being that was half man, half goat, and had horns sticking out of his head, and there were these little spirit things all around it, and it was controlling the weather, and it was making the trees move, and it was doing that, it was doing this. People around here would say that is the devil. That's the devil.
Yeah. They'd be like Bobby Boucher's mama. That's
Yeah, you stay away from them woods, because the
Mama
woods
says
is the devil.
that is the devil.
But here, I mean, I've spoke my faith enough on this, and it all goes back into that. What if it is?
Yeah.
What if it is that? What if it's Lucifer? What if it's Satan? What if it's, and all throughout history, or a prince too? Whatever. There's a ton of names out there for a lot of the minions of Satan that I don't even really want to jump in here and start mentioning because
Yeah, we don't even bring any names up.
there's
but-
power in a name, I believe. So I don't know, man. It's just crazy. It's crazy that all throughout history you keep seeing the same thing. So to me, just to make, to wrap it all together into one neat little package and bundle it up, I believe that Goatman is probably this same thing, or some version of it, or some minion of. That's just me. That's me.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm totally wrong.
It
Maybe
could
I'm.
just be Pan.
Yeah, could be. It could be. It's crazy, man.
It's like when everybody left the room today when we were at work and we just thought the rapture happened and we both had it wrong. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
Damn it. We're in purgatory.
I was wrong. Ryan was wrong.
Uh-huh.
No,
You have to go to hell with me.
it's a crazy. It's a crazy thing, man. I mean, you start looking into these things and you start looking into topics that you think are just totally and completely different and don't have any connections to anything that you've been talking about, yet there's always some kind of connections going on to make. Always. And to me, that's what makes this so fun for me. Of course, I love the conversation. I love talking to people. But what makes this so much fun is diving into some of the research and checking some of this stuff out and being like, oh, snap, this connects to either something we've previously talked about or something we plan on talking about, or B, something that connects in our own lives. Like something that we've known or seen, but just never put two and two together. That's what I love about this whole thing. And I never dreamed that this is the path that we would go down when we started this thing. We was just trying to have good conversation about whatever.
Yeah. It always ties back. But like I said, previous conversation, go off the Bible when it's discussing the Nephilim. I think those are the old gods, the old world. I think all those other things were real. That's why the Ten Commandments says no other God before me, and everything else.
Well, we know, and producer Lance, he's come on here and done an episode, and he has a little different viewpoint and belief than even I do on the whole thing. I'm with you. I think that the Nephilim were the offspring of fallen angels that, God banished from heaven because of the war in heaven when Lucifer turned a third of the angels against God.
We'll see. I do not think the Nephilim were the product of those angels and humans.
You don't?
No. Producer Lance sold me.
He sold you on that one.
Yeah.
Sold you on it.
When it says they were there before and after the sin of man, or the flood, whatever it's talking about. When he said he believes the Nephilim were there before any of this took place, so they couldn't be the product of the fallen angels and the daughters of men.
Well, even if we're just talking the fallen angels, if you have a belief in this, if you believe the Bible for what it says, if you just throw the Nephilim all the way and completely out, because we know the Nephilim, the Bible says they were mighty men of renown. Okay, so even if you throw the Nephilim completely out of the way, the Bible tells us that fallen angels were here on the earth. They were cast down to the earth. So even if you just take that and throw the Nephilim completely out of the the situation. These fallen angels who were cast out of heaven because they rebelled against God, what's the first thing that they're going to try to do on earth? They're going to try to show that, okay, well, if we can't be gods up there, we're going to do it here. I'm going to make these people worship me. I'm going to pass this secret knowledge or these technologies or, whatever is going on in the heavenly realm. I'm going to pass this on to the people here on earth. I'm going to make them believe that I'm a god. They're going to worship me. I'm going to teach them how. I think when you look into the ancient alien stuff, I think these guys and the ties and connections that they're making, they have the right idea, just kind of the wrong background. But I mean, if we have angels coming from a heavenly realm, and that heavenly realm, would that not make them extraterrestrial?
Yeah.
So maybe they're not that far off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that in almost every single culture, every religion, every civilization throughout history, you have similar stories, you have similar characters, you have similar gods, goddesses, all this different stuff. And in a lot of the accounts, these things are just, these gods, goddesses are wicked. I mean, they're just wicked. They're teaching all this technology and stuff, or they're giving these culture and these shifting different things, but the relationship with humankind is not good. It's not really good at all. There's a whole lot of bad that comes from it. So that's my viewpoint. I think when you look at, say, just take Greek mythology, for instance, and you start talking all these different gods and goddesses, and everything that they taught them, and or say ancient Egypt, and the building of the pyramids. We taught, these gods, small g god, fallen angels, taught this civilization to make these pyramids. I don't think that it's just a coincidence that there were pyramids built around the same time frame in history in Egypt, in China, in South America, in, if you believe some of the stuff, in North America. I mean, there were pyramids being built all around the globe at all approximately the same, or around the same approximate time in history. I don't think that's just a coincidence. And I know they weren't calling each other up on their cell phones or pulling up Zoom and saying, hey guys, this is what we're doing. We're going to share this with you. Come over to this university and check. Blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's how it went.
You don't know.
I don't know. I mean, we heard producer Lance say that they probably had Zoom pre-flood. So
The Flintstones had telephones.
Yeah. But anyway, I digress. We went on a really long off course. But I think that's all important stuff too. I think it's all, if you're talking about the beginning of creation and this belief in these fallen angels, which, demons, and if you're talking the spiritual realm, that's the dark, that's the evil, that's your demons to the good, that's the yin to the yang, that's the Sith to the Jedi, or however you want to put it. That's the dark to the light, however you want to shake it. So I think if you look at it through that perspective, then you can tie a lot of things to that. I mean, if we began, right after creation in this one-way track of that there was already a force there that was trying to manipulate things to fit their agenda and their ideas and their hatred for God and the children of God, that's a rough way to start. And it could be a reason for a lot of the bad that we see today and have always seen all throughout history. Just saying, that's a possibility.
Yeah, 'tis true.
All right, man. Well, I think this was good.
Yeah, yeah, I had a lot of fun. I did a lot of rambling when you were gone earlier, so
Good. That's
we'll
fine.
just have to go over it. I'm just gonna post it.
Yeah,
I
I don't
think
care.
I got a couple of jokes in. I can't really remember what went on.
It was my fault. I got kicked off, so I left you solo. You handled it. That's all. That's all you can do.
It was a spur of the moment thing.
Uh, uh, what I do? What I do?
I'm not really sure what to do with my hands right
I don't know
now.
what to do with my hands.
Troy did real good. Troy did real good.
All right, man. I thought this was a really good episode. We got to talk about some cryptids that aren't normally talked about. We got to throw in some what I like to call brain vomit, when just whatever hits your brain, just boom, here it is.
Yeah. So all comes
But
out.
you got anything else? We'll close this. We'll bring this thing to an end.
No, man. Just excited about some upcoming shows. We're hoping pan out. Not gonna say anything now because I don't want to say it and then it not happen and jinx it and I'll be pissed at myself.
Yeah,
But hopefully these things work out, and I think it's going to be I'm really excited about it. I want it to work. I can't wait.
yeah, man. Guys, listen. Y'all out there in the audience, we are. Well, first off, we're working our butts off every single day. And more in the.
And
We're
when
not
we're not doing that, we're podcasting.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, for real. We're not big. Well, not even getting into all that, but we're constantly looking for guests, talking to people, building relationships through this thing that we're doing here. And we really, I mean, guys, honestly, we have some big, big, big plans and some really awesome things that are on the horizon that I think are just going to be awesome. So stick around, let people know about it, because I'm telling you guys, this is just going to keep getting better and better and better. I promise it's going to keep getting better. So keep tuning in, keep checking it out. For all of you that do share the show, that leave the reviews and the ratings, that comment on YouTube, that check in and talk with us on our social media and email us. For all you people, we love you. We love you, and we appreciate all that you do. And for all of you that haven't yet, the potential's there. You can do it. Just a few strokes of a key or a simple word to a friend to say, hey, check these idiots at Appalachian Intelligence out, because they're a good time. If nothing else, they're a good time.
It's a shit ton of useless information, but they're funny.
Well, you're funny. I just laugh a lot.
Your face is funny though, so that.
But no, guys, we appreciate everything y'all do. Keep sharing the show. Check us out on social media. The links to that, again, will be in the show notes. You can support the show. There's a support the show link also in the show notes. Subscribe to our YouTube. If you'd like to see the video version better and look at these beautiful faces instead of just these sultry voices, you can check that out. And keep tuning in, because big things are coming. Big things.
Big thing.
Ryan, I love you, bro.
Love you, man. Have fun at work tomorrow.
Yeah, you have fun on the roof too.
Yeah.
Guys.
I'm sure it'll be a blast.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. Guys, we hope you enjoy this one. Big things coming. Stay tuned. Subscribe, like, rate, review, share. Boom. Simple as that.
And then just have a happy life.
Yeah, you can put that on top of it too. All right, guys. Until next time, we'll see y'all later.